And welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans, because we believe we're the most qualified people to talk about our favorite teams. I'm your co-host Isaac,
And I'm 40.
and we're waiting to hear if Noam will be on the show tonight. I think he's in hiding. You're in the group chat, 40. He seemed very reluctant to hop on the show this week for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
The Philly fans are still hunting him. No, there's another reason. But welcome to episode 102. Today's going to be an exciting episode. We're going to review Super Bowl 58, a wild game that was. Talk about the NFL honors, the new Hall of Fame additions, as well as who got which awards. We'll be talking everything about the NBA trade deadline. And of course, tomorrow, pitchers and catchers report for the start of spring training. So a lot going on in the sports world we're going to talk about. But as always, we're going to start with our new segment, What's on Your Mind, where we go around and each of the co-hosts gives basically tells us what's going on, what's on their mind right now. We'll start with you, 40, because I know you said something in the group chat. You were like, hey, I got something we got to talk about. So go ahead.
Yeah. So what's on my mind this week is so I'm 26 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing football when I was about 6 years old, probably started watching football when I was about 6 years old. It took me 20 years to appreciate Tom Brady. 20 whole years it took me. I used to hate this man. I absolutely hated him, despised of him. You know, everybody was saying, goat this, goat that. I'm like, bro, I hate this dude. Like, it's just nothing. There's nothing goat about this dude. Like, he's just lucky. He's a lucky guy. All right. 20 years later, guy went to Tampa Bay. I said if he won it there, I'll claim it. The guy's the GOAT, greatest of all time, period, point blank. After I watched him win that in Tampa Bay, I started to go back and watch Tom Brady's career a little more and started to respect him a lot more. And that's what made me say, this man truly is the greatest of all time, like you guys have been saying for how many ever years now. But Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl the other day, and now all of a sudden we're acting like Tom Brady's career never happened. I've seen so many things on social media this week saying Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. I no more arguments, this, that, and the third. Patrick Mahomes is way better than Tom Brady, this, that, and the third. Patrick Mahomes still has never beaten Tom Brady in the playoffs. But Tom Brady was 2-0 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
That he was.
Everyone forgets that. Not only that, I'll give it to Pat Mahomes. I won't take Pat Mahomes' career for granted the same way I did Tom Brady's. And Pat Mahomes is a magician. He can one day be the greatest of all time. But to say the man is the greatest of all time because he won that Super Bowl the other day is just absolutely blasphemous to Tom Brady. It's blasphemous to Tom Brady's career. Because the reason I say that is because they are actually in the same spot, 8 years in. 3 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. But Patrick Mahomes was a first-round draft pick, first-round 10th pick. Everyone believed and, had expectations for Mahomes. Being drafted in the first round, somebody has faith in you.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was pick 199. Nobody believed in Tom Brady except for Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. The man won 7 Super Bowls. We're not going to sit here and say Pat Mahomes is the greatest of all time after 3 Super Bowls. One day, Pat Mahomes can be the greatest, but we won't take that away from Tom Brady right now because, one thing that they wouldn't allow happen was for LeBron to be crowned the king and the greatest of all time after 3 championships. Once he tied Jordan with 3 championships at the age of 30, everyone kept saying, LeBron still has a lot to prove, this, that, and the third until we can crown him as the GOAT. Well, Pat Mahomes still has a lot to prove before we can crown him as the GOAT. Because Tom Brady, again, like I said, is still 2-0 against that man in the playoffs. That's what's on my mind this week, Isaac.
You know what? I actually agree with you on that. I'll say this: Mahomes is trending in that direction. He's very clearly, but he's not GOAT status yet because Brady won 3 championships in his first 5 years. Mahomes won 3 in his first 8. So that you should keep that in mind. And I think a good reason, a big reason why so many people took Tom Brady's career for granted because I've seen a lot of sports fans our age starting to look back and be like, wow, he really was that good. I think a
I
big
hate
reason yeah,
I hate that I took it for granted. Really.
I know. But I think the reason why is because, that Patriots dynasty, we hated it.
Yeah.
There were all the allegations of cheating. They were so serious. It never seemed like they took the game fun. It made sense that everybody saw that team and was like, "Ugh, I don't want to fucking deal with that."
Exactly.
Now that they're retired, it's like, well, yeah, they were really good, and it's a good point because it actually feeds into a point I made a couple episodes ago about how a lot of sports fans these days don't really appreciate greatness. They seem to be against it. You see dominant teams pop up, and everyone's like, "Ugh, uh," you know, they're not even worth watching. Uh, oh god, the comments are already going after Gnome. Yeah, Gnome is on his way, guys. I see that comment. Nixon. Yeah, of course Gnome is late. Don't worry, he's coming. He's coming. My man has a life outside of the podcast. We got to give him. We're giving him a little space for that. But what was I saying? Right, what we're seeing with Mahomes is insane. Like this guy is like he is on a trajectory to join the all-time greats clubs, and I think when establishing a modern dynasty when they're supposed to be non-existent is that's a big step forward. Like he is treading in that direction. But to say a modern dynasty is shouldn't be happening, I'm not putting those comments up. I'm not putting those comments up. Goddamn. To say modern dynasties shouldn't exist, you can't even say that because Tom Brady already proved twice you can't that happened. He had 2 separate dynasties with the Patriots for one for each decade. Like people don't understand just how insane Tom Brady was. And I'll give you this point too, because you did say Patrick Mahomes was a first round draft pick, and he was. The one thing I'll disagree with you on is that Patrick Mahomes was a project quarterback from a school that historically had never really produced good quarterbacks, and the Chiefs historically had never taken a quarterback in the draft. The Chiefs historically like to get their quarterbacks as free agents. So I will say a lot of people saw that pick were like, really? That the project QB from Texas Tech with great numbers but never had a winning season? Really? So I'll just say you are still right that Tom Brady was literally a nobody.
No, I agree with that.
Tom Brady was a guy who was coming off a senior season at Michigan where he was in a quarterback. He had been in a quarterback controversy because they weren't even sure if he was the guy. And the Patriots literally took a chance, like, oh, we need a 4th stringer. Let's just grab the guy from Michigan. I mean, he beat Alabama in a bowl game. That they're pretty good. Patrick Mahomes was a project QB from a Texas Tech team that I don't think even made a bowl game. His big claim to fame was that he once put up like 70 points on Baker Mayfield's Oklahoma.
Yeah, that game was actually insane. I think
Yeah,
both of them had thrown for like 600 plus yards that day.
something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. I'm glad you got that off of your chest, Calvin. That's good. I got something on my mind. This is going to cause some controversy. So the Super Bowl halftime show, I got to say it because I saw a lot of people really liked it. Maybe it's just that I'm not the biggest Usher fan in the world. I like Usher. I didn't really like the halftime show. I thought I really hoped it would be good, and to be honest, the second half was good. I feel like the song choices were kind of a little too low energy for the Super Bowl, but at the same time, I'm not a huge Usher fan, so I can't really judge because I don't really listen to Usher's music. But I think that he did good as a performer in terms of actual performance. He did really good. But there's one thing about that halftime show, and you saw the title of this episode. You know what I'm about to go on about, man. You ever seen the Boondocks? You ever seen the
Yeah,
Boondocks?
yeah, of course.
When Usher
Of course.
steals Tom Dubois' wife, and Riley is
Yeah.
like, "Man, I could see if it was a real G like T.I. I mean, like if T.I.
Yeah.
steals a girl, man, that's T.I. But Usher,
But Usher,
dude,
Mr.
it happens in
Dubois.
real life. Swizz Beats, my man.
Yep.
You are married to Alicia Keys. You, I'm sorry. What are you doing, man? You listen. You really gonna let Usher feel up all on your woman on national TV? Listen, I get it. It was for a performance, man. But if I'm Swizz Beats, I'm watching. I'm changing the keys on the lock. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
y'all
no,
were getting a little
seriously.
too comfortable up there. I don't think I like that. It's dude. Keep Usher away from. I'm keeping Usher away from my loved ones. Like, do not come near my. I don't trust you, man. I don't trust you at all. He sweated like the guy in the Ice Spice commercial. Shout
I
out
didn't
to the
even see that.
commercials. Shout out to the
I didn't
commercials.
even see the Ice Spice commercial.
She was on the commercial for Starry, I think, where the guy like her ex came and he was supposed to represent the other lemon lime soda. It was clearly a shot at Sprite, and how he like was all sweaty and stuff. And I gotta say, commercials were on point. I didn't focus on it because I was so stressed about the game. But the few that I were able to see, I was like, they were really good. They were really good. But that's what's on my mind. It's like, dude, Usher, come on, you're on national TV and you're gonna physically slide into Alicia Keys' DMs on national TV
Yeah.
in front of the world. Like, you're not getting away with that. Swizz Beats is gonna show
Uh,
up to your
Usher
door.
wouldn't have made Usher wouldn't have made it out the stadium if that was my woman.
No, yeah, Swizz Beats is gonna show up outside his Vegas residency and be like, "Hey, so fuck was that about?
Yeah,
What are you on
seriously.
about?" With that being said, Noam will be joining us soon. We'll save the football talk for when Noam gets here. But let's quickly go on and talk about the NBA trade deadline because we kind of missed that last week. It was kind of caught up in the news cycle. Everyone was really focused on the Super Bowl. We had the trade deadline.
I'm
I
going
got
off camera. Sorry, I'm going off camera for 1 second. I have to blow my nose.
all good, man. So I got the full list of trades. These are all the ones that happened leading up to the trade deadline, and I think we're just going to go over them real quick and get our and get some splash opinions on them. So we'll start back February 1st, and this one I actually didn't see happen. Didn't see it. I'm just finding out about this now. But the Rockets traded Victor Oladipo and 3 second-round picks to the Grizzlies in exchange for Steven Adams. So Calvin, I'll go to you for your reaction to that first.
I mean, that one doesn't really excite me too much. Nothing really, I mean, Oladipo, he's a guy that's been on, like injured and on and off for the last couple of years here now. And then Steven Adams as well. He sat out damn near all of last year with that injury there. So I think that I don't really know who won on either side of that trade there, just due to the two players that were involved.
Both those guys are kind of older guys who aren't really like, I don't know what the best way to say is. I guess I don't think about Steven Adams and Victor Oladipo as much as I used to. That's the best way to sum it up. By the way, you guys want a quick cameo real quick? This is Sora. He is a Norwegian elk hound, and he is a big baby who really, really, really wants to be on the podcast for some reason. This is like when Kylie's cat Jenny made cameo appearances last summer. How you doing, buddy? You joining us for the pod?
It's always the big dogs that are big babies.
He is a big baby, but he loves to jump in the morning. Yeah, you're right, dog. He loves to bark in the morning just nonstop for some reason. Why do you bark so much? You just see somebody outside and you start screeching at them. Anyway, uh, let's move on to February 7th, the next trade for the trade deadline. This one I'm just going to gloss over because it still happened. But the Celtics traded Lamar Stevens, a 2027 second round pick, and a 2030 second round pick to the Grizzlies in exchange for Xavier Tillman. Not much to take away from there. I think those are just two bench players, so not much there.
Yeah, nothing really there.
Also, February 7th, the Timberwolves traded Troy Brown Jr., Shake Milton, and a 2030 second round pick to the Pistons in exchange for Monte Morris. Now, if I'm Monte Morris, I'm probably screaming to the high heavens, like, thank you, I'm now in a finals contender, which feels really, doesn't that feel weird saying that about the Timberwolves?
Absolutely, but they have a great young squad, so makes
Yeah.
sense.
I feel for the players who got traded to the Pistons. You're now the worst team. You go for one of the best teams in the West, now one of the worst teams. Like, that's got to hurt, man. That's
Yeah,
got to hurt.
for
Next,
sure.
Next trade up, February 8th, the day of the trade deadline. These were the rest were. First up, the Pistons traded Kevin Knox, a future second round pick, and the rights to Gabriel Procida to the Jazz in exchange for Simone Fontecchio. I really hope I got that name right. Simone Fontecchio. That's a nothing trade. The Warriors traded Corey Joseph, a 2025 second round pick, and cash considerations to the Pacers for a 2024 second round pick. Okay, more kind of just trades, but we're going over all of them because we're thorough here. The Sixers traded Daniel House Jr., a 2024 second round pick, and cash considerations to the Pistons for a 2028 second round pick. Here was the first big trade we saw on the trade deadline day. The Jazz traded Kelly Olynyk and I'm going to mess this name up. Ochi Agbaji to the Raptors in exchange for Otto Porter Jr. and Kira Lewis Jr. and a 2024 first round pick. Actually, I said that was a big trade only because I recognized the name Otto Porter. Robin Lopez was traded by the Bucks to the Kings, along with cash considerations in exchange for the draft rights to Demetrios. Man, what is with these players, these names? I don't want to. He's got a Greek name. I'm not going to try it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it.
Wait, before you go any farther, I don't know how Giannis's brother is still on a basketball team.
That's a good point. I saw him. He had like a nice dunk the other day, but that was about it.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, there's so many guys that are overseas that could actually be a real help to a basketball team in the NBA right now, and this guy is just there on the bench because his brother is Giannis.
Who's the one who won the championship? Was that like?
That was the youngest one, Alex. He won the one with the 2020 championship with the Lakers.
Yeah,
but then,
yeah.
But I mean, all three of them have rings now because Thanos or whatever. Thanasis. He just won one when the Bucks won that championship in 2021. So they all have rings now, which is crazy.
It's definitely name recognition. Okay, buddy, you're drooling on my pants, and like these are nice. Can you not? Okay, but go get your bone. Go get your bone. I'm not. He's decided that now is the night where he's gonna, be a bug. So. Let's see what else we got. Mavericks traded Rashawn Holmes and a 2024 first round pick to the Wizards in exchange for Daniel Gafford. They got themselves a big man. The Blazers traded a protected second round pick to the Celtics for Delano Banton and cash considerations. I don't even know who these guys are. This is literally like they're literally. I'm actually going to skip all the ones that we don't know, and we're just going to go to the big ones. Here's one. Here's a big one. 76ers traded Patrick Beverley to the Bucks in exchange for Cam Payne and a 2027 second round pick. Pat Bev at this point is just trying to play for every team in the league.
Yeah, I think the Bucks actually won that trade though. That actually helps them a lot defensively. Pat Bev, as much as people think that he's an annoying person, he is actually a great defensive player. Like he's a pest he's one of those guys you want on your basketball team. You do not want to be his opponent.
Oh yeah. They Pat Bev, I always like seeing opposing basketball opposing fans just okay, bro, my dog is you gotta go. I'm trying to do a podcast here, and you keep headbutting me and distracting me from what I'm trying to say. I don't even remember what I was going to say now because you keep headbutting me. Like, are we gonna have beef? Are we having beef? Yeah, something about Pat Bev. Are we having beef? Because during the day when I come to pet you, you don't want me to pet you, but suddenly at night when I'm doing something, you want me to.
Yep, that's how it always is.
Go in the corner. Just so everyone knows, he's a good dog. He's being annoying right now. Other big trade. Nets traded Spencer Dinwiddie to the Raptors for Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young. I didn't even realize that Dennis Schroeder was on the Raptors. I thought he was still with the Lakers for some reason.
Yeah, no, he actually signed with the Raptors in the offseason. But Spencer Dinwiddie is actually now on the Lakers.
They are already?
Yeah, he bought the Raptors bought or whoever it is bought out the contract, and now he's on the Lakers. He just signed to the Lakers. So I don't know if he'll make his debut tonight with the Lakers or if he'll play next game. But yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie just signed to the Lakers.
I've been told I need to do a shot for every player I don't know. If I still drank, I definitely would because it would be so funny because it's about to get stupid. I skipped like 5 trades because I don't recognize these players. I don't think any of them are going to be necessary. Big trade. The Pistons traded Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic to the Knicks in exchange for Evan Fournier, Malachi Flynn, Quentin Grimes, Ryan Arch. I'm not even going to try that last name. My God, 2 future second round picks and cash considerations. Pistons are getting a lot of guys that are like low key not terrible. Like Evan Fournier, is it bad? It's just that knowing it's the Pistons, they're going to somehow get worse. I feel.
Yeah, Knicks definitely won that trade. 2 outside shooters that can contribute to their team. So
The Charlotte Hornets traded Gordon Hayward. Wow, Gordon was on the Charlotte Hornets. God damn. Hornets trade Gordon Hayward to the Oklahoma City Thunder in exchange for not going to attempt that name. What the hell? It feels like all the trades in this year's trade deadline were just guys with names specifically designed to annoy me because I'm not even going to try that. It's definitely Eastern European. I'll give you that. So an Eastern European player, Trey Mann, Davis Bertans, 2024 second round pick, 2025 second round pick. I feel like I'd be more excited about this, but Gordon Hayward, I feel like hasn't really ever since he broke his leg on opening night back in like 2018. Gordon Hayward just hasn't been the same player.
yep,
I really
for
wish he was
sure.
because prime Gordon Hayward was fun to watch.
He was a fucking killer, man.
He
Like he
was.
used to give LeBron buckets.
I honestly have never. Honestly, that opening night game when he broke his leg, I think that's when I started to not watch the NFL, not the NFL, the NBA as much. Because for whatever reason, I just didn't watch the rest of that game. I was so shocked of watching that, and ever since then, it's been like hard for me to watch NBA games for some reason. Like that's when because I was loving the NBA first couple years of college, last couple years of high school. That was all I would watch. But after watching that game, watching him break his leg, that's when I started to slowly be like, oh well, there's baseball on, and like I'm not.
I was kind of like that when the Paul George one happened.
Mm, yeah, I was lucky enough to not see the Paul George one, but I remember people talk about how horrible that was.
That Paul George one was crucial.
Ooh, yeah, I'm glad to see that he still thrived after it. It's still just
Yeah, for sure.
nasty.
I was gonna say that's probably one of the only people that had a serious injury like that was able to come back and still thrive. Because I've seen Paul George have 30, 40, 50-point games after that injury.
Whatever happened to the guy? You remember that guy on Louisville? It was like March
Kevin
Madness.
Ware.
Yeah, Kevin Ware. You remember Kevin Ware? Dog, that Kevin Ware stuff. Like, I can't.
Yeah,
I,
I don't remember I don't even actually know what happened to him, but I do remember that happening.
dude, that video is seared into my memory. Like, I have. That video is bad. That's one of those videos that you just can't watch because if you haven't seen the Kevin Ware video and you want to go see it and you're watching this podcast, uh don't I mean do if you want to, but like that video is hard to watch. If you're into guys breaking their legs in really bad places, go ahead. It's totally for you. If not, don't even try to watch it. Anyway, let me see what else we got. This was probably the last big one we'll talk about for the trade deadline. 3-team trade. The Sixers traded Furkan Korkmaz, Doug McDermott, a 2024 second round pick, a 2029 second round pick, and cash considerations to the Pacers, who sent Marcus Morris, a 2029 second round pick, and cash considerations to the Spurs, who sent Buddy Hield to the Sixers, who they had originally gotten from the Pacers.
Yes.
Complicated 3-team trade there. Sixers kind of clutching up. I know they've been struggling recently. If you follow some of the other Philly podcasts on our network, they definitely have been panicking about the Sixers recently. Probably
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean, they
best.
had no Embiid for a while now, so
Yeah, they're falling apart. Um, but yeah, the trade deadline not as intense as I thought. Not a lot of huge trades, but then again, I think everybody's kind of everyone's kind of figured their teams out except for some of the teams that are on the periphery, and even those teams didn't make a lot of big moves. The only team I saw that really like tried to overhaul their roster through the trade deadline were the Pistons, who just kind of dumped off everybody good and was like, let's get worse. So
yeah, I really thought the Lakers would make a move. Very shocked that they didn't. I mean, they did get Spencer Dinwiddie, but you know,
yeah.
uh, I mean, well, that actually helps a lot because they didn't have to pay anything for Spencer Dinwiddie. Like they didn't lose anybody or anything of that nature. They just, were able to sign him to the contract since he got bought out by the Raptors. So,
I hope he's a good fit in LA. I think he will be. With that being said, though, let's
I hope so
go ahead.
too.
Go ahead. Yeah. That being said,
No, go ahead.
let's move on to the NFL and let's talk about the NFL honors and the Hall of Fame inductees. We'll get to the Super Bowl eventually. I'm just going to try to give no more time because he said he's coming, but I don't know where. We're going to have to talk about that. It's like you're part of this podcast now, bro. You got to let us know if you're not going to be on. Like, goddamn. But anyway,
Yeah.
NFL honors. The 2023 season. Let me just pull it up. So, here are your award winners for the year. MVP goes as expected to Lamar Jackson. Deserved, probably. Sorry, the dog is
Sorry.
okay. Listen, baby cakes, you gotta go.
Yeah, 49 out of 50 first place votes was one vote away from being the only player to ever win 2 unanimous MVPs. Fuck the guy who voted for Josh Allen.
Someone that guy, you know what that guy gets? You know what that guy gets? There. We can't do this anymore because football season's over. But there's our final one of the year. It's going to because there wasn't a dumbass interception. There was one, but it wasn't a dumbass interception. It was just just a good play. Yeah, I see. I'm weird because part of me thinks they should take into account postseason results too, but also that's stupid. That's just a part of that. I don't know. That's just a part of me that is kind of sick and tired of it going to quarterbacks. But Lamar did have a insane season. Oh, well. Just when we start talking about the NFL, look who decides to show his head.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you thought you could hide, buddy. Nah.
Well, I'm here now.
Just in time. What do you think about Lamar winning MVP?
Well, I think it obviously should have gone to Josh Allen, of course. I'm on record saying that.
Were you the one voter?
You're the one vote that voted for Josh Allen?
You know how mad that vote makes me?
How
bro,
mad?
That I just said fuck the guy that voted for Josh Allen. Like, come on, bro.
He got the dumbest interception of the week for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Give that to him. Now that's crazy, right? Because he got fifth. He got fifth place in MVP voting, as far as I'm aware.
Guys, hold on. I'll be right back. You guys talk about Lamar Jackson real quick. I gotta go put my dog in the room because it's got to the point where it's honestly like annoying. Like, come here.
Oh. Come here. Okay. Yeah, 40. As far as I'm aware, Josh Allen was like fifth in MVP voting. Like, he's not like he was second. Yet online, you're seeing so much discourse about it. Like, oh, well, it's the same thing it was in 2019. You remember Lamar doesn't have the numbers. Remember all that? It's the same thing now.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. That guy's an asshole.
Yeah, he's crazy for that. Like, at least vote for, like, I don't know, McCaffrey or someone who was like close, but like no one thought, like, come on.
Well, Mahomes or like
Mahomes,
Tyreek Hill,
Cheeto. I'd like it. Why not?
Like that would have made sense, but like this guy,
Josh Allen.
Out of all people.
And I'm a Josh Allen defender. I'm the Josh Allen defender on this podcast.
It was right. My dog is stimming.
Wait, Kyle Lowry signed with the Sixers?
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about that. Kyle Lowry's going with the Sixers, reunited with Nick Nurse. Good stuff. I like it.
Wow.
I like it. All right, I'm back. So I had to put my dog in my roommate's room because it got to the point where he was headbutting me because I wasn't petting him. All right, I'm back. So I had to put my dog in that. Someone's watching the podcast, and I can hear it. I wonder who that is.
Who can hear it?
I can hear somebody watch the podcast. Anyway, let's go through the award winners again. So Lamar Jackson MVP, Kevin Stefanski Coach of the Year. I don't know about that. I mean, getting the Browns to the playoffs is like impressive, especially all their injuries. But I don't know if I'd give him Coach of the Year.
D'Amico Ryans, man, the Texans this year. This is
damn Campbell too, man. Like there's
either of those
better options.
Great choices. Stefanski, I figured would be like my third place.
Did you guys see the Sorry, I'm going off topic, but did you guys see the guy on the 49ers that was shit talking his own teammate?
Which one?
Oh, I was going to bring that up when we talk about the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get
Then
to
we'll
that.
wait. We'll
Get
wait
to
then.
that because I'm gonna get to that.
Because the only reason I bring it up is because I just saw Jalen Carter actually responded to it, and
Oh yeah,
when we get to it, yeah, I Jesus, this is actually crazy. So
there
yeah,
are a lot of players from NFC teams who are just acting up because of the Super Bowl. We'll get to that though. So Stefanski head coach, assistant coach of the year, Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator for the Browns, deserved.
No, it's not.
No,
No, it should be Mike McDonald. Of course, it should be Mike McDonald. How is that not a lock? Honestly,
again, I mean, I could see the voters trending towards the Browns just because considering all the injuries, it's a miracle they even made the playoffs.
the Ravens had the unbeatable defense this year.
Oh, it was
Was it the defense?
Was it?
Was it the defense?
Their defense was really good. No, their defense
Yeah.
was stellar.
They held Patrick Mahomes to 17 points.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Defense did not lose the game.
Offensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah,
Sure.
if
Beat him or Cheetah.
The guy led the league in rushing, and he's not even really a running back. If we look at him, he's an athlete.
Yeah, he's a third down back, really.
Yeah, he's an athlete, honestly. So for him to lead the league in rushing as an athlete is actually insane.
Yeah, it's actually also weird to see a running back evolve his game like this, because usually what he's been, when usually if you're a running back, you have a skill set and you stick to that skill set. Derrick Henry has his, and Christian McCaffrey was that third down receiving back type of guy. Yet this year he like changed his game a little bit and was running more between the tackles. That's how they were using him, and he led the league in rushing, and he was excellent. It's just it's cool.
He also broke Jerry Rice's record for most consecutive games with one touchdown. So
yeah, true.
Damn good athlete. Myles Garrett gets Defensive Player of the Year.
Deserved.
Yeah,
I've been saying it the whole year.
Deserved.
Yeah, that one was deserved.
Wait, because I have been seeing a lot of stuff about that. You know how like everyone got an opinion on the internet and everything like that. I've been seeing a lot of people saying TJ Watt and that he was robbed and yada 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 yada. And there's like a lot of back and forth on that.
Did TJ Watt do dribble moves at the line of scrimmage and then go get a sack?
Did he Euro step? Maybe. I think I have seen a video of him Euro stepping past the tackle.
The Myles Garrett, right?
Yeah.
No. I think it was TJ Watt.
Oh,
but I did see Myles Garrett do the same thing though. Do like where he like completely just I don't know what that was.
The man was dribbling a fake basketball through his legs and then went and got a sack. Like I didn't see TJ Watt doing that.
TJ Watt also. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say Myles Garrett was like from the start of the season was just a force. Like he was just
unbeatable.
Yeah, like TJ Watt kind of caught on later in the year. I felt like TJ Watt kind of had a slower start. Myles Garrett was on it from the start, and he kind of had to carry that Browns defense at certain points as the injuries kept piling up. Man, the Browns got a lot of awards. I just realized the Browns
did get a lot of awards. I personally agree with like you said, he was the best defensive player in the league for like the first half. I see a lot of like discourse about it because people are saying TJ Watt led the league at sacks, and by some metrics
Hi bosses at Fired Up Sports, how are you?
Hello bosses. We were just talking about how great the city of Philadelphia is. No, but they talked about kind of I lost my train of thought. TJ Watt led the league in sacks. By some metrics, he led the league in pressures. His double team percentage is just negligible. Like he comes in out of a 9 tech, which means you were so far outside. There's just no way you're going to get double teamed. Myles Garrett does not do that, but he likes to move around a lot, so he gets double teamed a lot. And double team percentage should not be the metric, but my metric for this stuff is film. Who's the best player? Maybe the stats don't tell this whole story because we know that they don't. Who's the best player on film? Then to me, the best defensive player this year was Myles Garrett.
Have you seen? I absolutely despise the Cowboys, but have you seen Micah Parsons break down the best defensive lineman this year?
You're talking about like
because somebody asked Micah Parsons. Somebody asked Micah Parsons the same question at the Super Bowl, and he was breaking it down why TJ Watt didn't deserve it over Myles Garrett. And when he broke it down, and you saw it from another NFL perspective, it was like, okay, you know, like the people that are saying TJ Watt deserves this award, they need to watch this video right here, what Michael Parsons is saying. Because when what he said was 100% hit the hammer on the nail. I don't want to mix up his words. I want, you know, so if anybody's watching this, go out and look what Michael Parsons said about it. I want you to see the exact quote. I don't want to misquote it.
I did see posted something on Twitter. I didn't see the actual video, but I did see posted something on Twitter, like a comparison as well, like a stat breakdown or something like that. Or maybe he just said watch the film or something like that. I don't remember what he said.
So shout out to the Texans who got both Rookie of the Years. CJ Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Will Anderson, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think
2 years in a
no
row we've
arguments
gotten
there.
this now.
Yeah.
Jets last year.
2 years in a row we got this now. Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner last year, and now CJ and Will.
I wish I still had that saved, our predictions from the start of the season, because that got lost somewhere, and I wish I had that saved.
I have.
Oh. Well, let's find out. Before we do, real quick, comeback player of the year. Joe Flacco won it over Damar Hamlin. I'm going to get flack from this. Y'all ready to see me get our podcast canceled? Y'all ready? Deserved.
If you're gonna say it should have been Baker,
no. Well, Baker had a case because his career.
Baker had a case,
but no, sure. Joe Flacco deserved. Bro was on the couch, came off and played.
Somebody actually said, "Do you know how?" Somebody said, "Do you know how crazily ass you have to be to actually die on the field and not win comeback player of the year?"
That's my point. Don't cancel us for me for saying this, but Damar Hamlin did bullshit this year. He did nothing outside of a failed fake punt and a couple special teams plays and one tackle. That's it. Like they did not play Damar Hamlin.
What is it that you? What is it that you wanted to see on the predictions?
Oh, I just wanted to see who we predicted at the beginning of the year. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Alex sums it up.
Myself, and I think this would have happened had he not got injured. I picked Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson. MVP, and I think this would have happened had he not got injured. I picked Kirk Cousins. Bijan Robinson was my Offensive Rookie of the Year. My defense.
We really thought Arthur Smith would play him.
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah, and you know, if Arthur Smith used him correctly, he probably would have been the Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, Offensive Rookie of the Year. My defensive Rookie of the Year was Jalen Carter. I had Jalen Carter.
He was
probably would have. You know, like Will Anderson was just one step ahead of him this year. So I think he actually came in second place, though, right? Carter was second place.
I think so. Who else? Yeah. Who else would? I think those two.
I think it was him in second place.
I think it was just those two guys.
And then my defensive player of the year actually had Sauce Gardner, which wasn't actually too far off because he won first team all pro or whatever.
Yeah, that Jets. I mean, we've been saying all season how good that Jets defense was, and Sauce Gardner definitely was a good impression. But real quick before you finish that, just what I was going to finish saying, like Joe Flacco played arguably the best football of his career, like down the stretch of the season. Arguably.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it was the best because that 2012 playoff run was insane. But he did play at a level that you don't expect a 38-year-old who's coming off the couch to do. Damar Hamlin didn't play like shit, and also.
If you take his stats for the part that he did play and project it for the whole year, it's easily the best year of his career by far. So
I'm sorry. No offense to Damar Hamlin. It is a miracle that he even is on an active roster considering what happened to him. But bro did not play this year. And when he did play, he was not very good. Joe Flacco, he skipped the first half of the season, but came off the bench and balled out and somehow got the Browns to the playoffs. That's something that doesn't happen, only happens once in every, new moon. So
I hate to sound like an asshole, but had he probably gotten that fake punt, he probably would have won comeback player of the year.
I strongly disagree.
The fake punt in the playoffs.
It's weird, man.
Because first of all, actually, I know for a fact that can't have anything to do with it because voting is done before when the season ends, I believe, and it's only announced later on.
Sure. I was just making an asshole joke.
No, you're wrong for that.
Back to the predictions.
Yeah.
Kylie had Justin Jefferson Offensive Player of the Year. She had Joe Burrow as their MVP. She had Nick Bosa as their Defensive Player of the Year.
Ugh.
She had CJ Stroud as her Rookie of the Year on offense, and she had Jalen Carter as a Rookie of the Year on defense.
We were really high on Jalen Carter.
Okay, Isaac. Isaac, you actually hit 2 out of 4 here. You had Lamar Jackson as MVP. You had Will Anderson as Defensive Rookie of the Year. You had Bijan as your offensive rookie of the year.
Fuck you,
You
Arthur
had
Smith.
Chelsea as your offensive player of the year, and then you had Chase Young as your defensive player of the year.
Well, I didn't expect Chase Young to get traded midseason. I forgot that Chase Young was like is kind of then turned into like a pseudo bust because he doesn't play because he's injured. But he's getting better. He balled out for the Niners when he got traded. And I didn't
Yeah,
expect that
he
Kelsey would
actually
start
had
dating the biggest
an
pop star on the
amazing game
planet and
that
get
Super Bowl.
distracted in the regular season. I didn't expect that. But other than that, pretty good.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Wow, these are. Whoa. I'm
Now-
looking at snap counts for DeMar Hamlin. Oh my god. Yeah, no, like there's no way. I don't want to hear a single argument that he should have
Yeah.
won.
So before we move on to talking about the Super Bowl, let's quickly give a shout out to the guys who got elected into the Hall of Fame. I want to get your opinion. It was a defensive class. This was a class all about edge rushers and big old guys on the defensive line, and also Andre Johnson.
And Devin Hester, man. Fucking
too.
Devin Hester. Hell yeah.
So Devin Hester gets in. You all know him as the dude who returns the kick on the opening kickoff, the Super Bowl in 2006. Arguably the greatest return specialist of all time. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Arguably.
No, he not arguably.
He's the
He
greatest
is.
return specialist
He
of all
is.
time.
He is. The
I
Absolutely.
watched a
greatest one.
4-minute highlight tape of just returns the other day of this guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
They're
special.
so much fun, dude. He's so special.
Andre Johnson makes it. I believe he's the first pure Houston Texan to make the Hall of Fame.
No, he played for two other teams.
We did. Well, he played with the Texans almost his entire career. I don't think his
Titans
Colts
1 year and Colts 1 year. I
I'm
think.
blowing my nose.
Those don't
again,
count,
that's
bro.
They don't count at all. They
Those
definitely
don't
don't count.
count. Nah, hey, Andre Johnson like helped put Houston on the map, so definitely
Oh yeah,
deserved.
definitely deserved. I love Andre Johnson. I was so happy he made it. When
I
we
was
talked
all-
about this earlier in the year, I was like,
You
pulling. for
remember when he
Andre
beat the
Johnson.
shit out
I
of
saw
that
a couple-
cornerback?
You mean Cortland Finnegan?
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I saw some people saying that, like this bullshit Reggie Wayne didn't get in. Reggie's gonna get in eventually. Don't worry.
He will. So will Steve Smith.
Yeah, they'll
And
get in.
maybe Hines Ward will too. Yeah, there's a lot of people that need to beat them.
Yeah.
So will
There's
Anquan, hopefully.
Listen,
boy
there's so
Chad
many good
Johnson needs to
receivers
get in
from
there,
the
man.
2000s.
Yeah, he didn't even make finalists this year, man.
Yeah. But the big talk of this class are the edge rushers. We got Dwight Freeney, long ass career, best known for his stints with the Colts. Just an absolute menace during our childhoods. Well deserved. Good shit
Hopefully
for Dwight
Robert
Freeney.
Mathis comes next.
I hope so. Randy Gradisher. If you don't know about Randy Gradisher, if y'all don't know about Orange Crush, go look up highlights of the 70s Broncos because their defense was like the other defense when people talk about the great defenses of the 70s, like the Purple People Eaters, Doomsday, the Steel Curtain. And then there's Orange Crush, who randomly for like a 3-year stretch were the best defense in the league. Randy Gradisher is one of those linebackers who just went under the radar, but dude was a monster. Like, his highlight reel is like scary. We've got Julius Peppers. Long ass career, played from 02 to 2016. Best known for 02 to 2018, excuse me. Best known for his time with the Panthers. Had a nice stint with the Packers and the Bears. I forgot about that. All time top tier football name, by the way, Julius Peppers.
I think he's top. I think he's 6 all time in sacks.
He's definitely up there.
I want to say.
Yeah. Patrick Willis, middle linebacker for the 49ers. Dude went to the Pro Bowl, I think, every year of his career, something like that.
Absolutely
Really,
deserved. That man was a menace.
I was wrong. Julius Peppers is 5th all time in sacks.
Dude, Patrick Willis is proof that you don't have to have a long career to make the Hall of Fame. Even if your career is cut short due to injury, as long as you are like the best player at your position, you're Gucci.
Yeah. No, we talked about this a little bit when he came up as a quarterfinalist or something like that. We talked about this, and I think I forget who said it, but Terrell Davis proved that for offense. So if Terrell Davis in his short career could get in as a Hall of Famer, we were like, why? There's no reason Patrick Willis should not be.
Yeah.
Played 7 years and was first team All Pro pretty much every year. I don't see why not. That's the argument for Patrick Willis.
Now, this last guy to make the Hall of Fame is the one that I'm really excited about. If you're a fan of the 85 Bears, it's about time that Mongo got in. Steve McMichael, the other big dude on the line, makes the Hall of Fame. This one, I'm really glad he was alive to see. If you don't know, Steve McMichael has been battling ALS. He's currently confined. He's currently bedridden with ALS. Probably doesn't have many years left, but the dude was able to live long enough to see him get to be there when he gets into the Hall of Fame, and that's really special. Steve McMichael, just incredibly underrated player for the 85 Bears defense. But at this point now, that 85 Bears defense, McMichael's in, Richard Dent is in,
Hampton's in.
Dan Hampton is in. There is Singletary is in. There is a good case for one of the other linebackers to get in. I think Wilbur Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Otis Wilson. I don't know.
Maybe not.
We could be getting close, but like their legacy is already cemented as one of the best ever. But it just keeps getting even better because that's another player headed to the Hall of Fame. I don't think the Fridge is getting in though, because the Fridge kind of was a one-hit wonder, unfortunately. Yeah, no, the Fridge had like one Pro Bowl, and that was it. Yeah, he's not getting in. But they're trending towards getting more and more in there. So really happy to see Steve McMichael getting in. With that being said, we have to talk about it. The Super Bowl. It was. I'll let you guys start. You guys start. Super Bowl reactions. What are you guys' thoughts?
Corey can go first.
No.
Honestly, I think this is a good Super Bowl. This is a good game. It was an absolutely great game. All the way down to the wire. Got overtime and things of that nature. Mahomes being Mahomes, man. The man's a magician. I think the 49ers actually beat themselves more than the Chiefs beat them. But overall, I mean, you can't be mad at the game. The game was an absolutely great game.
From a pure football perspective, that was a classic. That was just
for sure.
Like, if you're a fan of great defensive football, but also like seeing teams score enough points that it's not like, the most boring thing you've ever seen, that was like the perfect Super Bowl for you, because that was a great defensive battle, but also the offenses had enough leeway that they could do what they want. And it was a relatively clean game too. There were a couple of calls early in the game, but outside of that, I was so relieved that it wasn't impacted by ref ball. I was concerned. I was like, oh God, like if the Chiefs somehow win this and there's a bad call by the refs, but I'm glad it was.
One stat I will say though that I saw is the Chiefs have never had an offensive holding penalty in all of their Super Bowls that they've won.
You know what it is? It's the red gloves, man. They wear the right gloves.
You have to wear the same gloves as the opposing team's jerseys, so they don't see the hold. Red gloves aren't going to matter if they're against the Eagles.
White gloves. They wore green gloves
against the Eagles are going to stick out. Yeah, exactly. Got to do like black gloves, or that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
the refs can't see the hold. If you're wearing red gloves and you're going against, I don't know, the Eagles,
I'll say this much: it was
we'll see it.
It was.
That's a crazy stat, 40.
It was a hell of a game. It was a hell of a game. I was emotionally exhausted after that game. I was at my buddy's Super Bowl party. I got up in the middle of the third quarter and just kind of paced for the rest of the game, including overtime. I have never seen a football game like that where every single play felt like, it truly felt like a battle. Like both teams were just slugging it against each other. Like every single play, it felt like, you didn't know what was going to happen, and you did notice later in the game, both defenses started to get a little tired. And overtime, they kind of let each other march down the field. And we'll talk about overtime because apparently the Niners didn't plan for overtime.
That's
their
crazy.
words, not mine. Yeah.
That's
but
crazy. When I saw that, I was like, what?
Dude, so many things had to go right for the Chiefs to win that fucking game. The Niners, Ray McLeod muffing that punt was.
Ray McLeod did not muff the punt.
He did not. It got kicked by by somebody else, and
it hit off someone else. I don't know if it was Conley or one of the other guys, but Ray McLeod tried to save it.
He did. One of the gunners got down there and.
It hit his
Ray
McLeod. It was actually a really good reaction from Ray McLeod.
It was.
He wasn't going to touch it.
The trajectory, it was just going too far. The defense has played insane. I was surprised that they gave the MVP to Mahomes. I know Mahomes balled out, but the way his performance in the first half, I wouldn't have given it to him. I would have honestly you know what I'd given it to? I would have given it to Chiefs. Either a guy in secondary or no, Leo Chanel, the Chiefs linebacker, 6 tackles, 6 tackles, forced fumble on McCaffrey, and he blocked the extra point that kept the Chiefs in the game. Leo Chanel balled the fuck out, and he should have gotten MVP in my opinion.
You guys want to hear
Leo
a
Chanel definitely balled out. Trent McDuffie balled out though the whole entire
Our second
was crazy good.
Yeah.
I don't
that
even know
guy,
how you touched the ball more than 3 times.
The Chiefs secondary.
He's only 22. That's the thing. Trent McDuffie is only 22 years old.
The scary thing is that the Chiefs secondary, like the big story going into that game was how are they going to stop the double Debos? Debo and Brandon Ayuk got a couple, but for the most part, the Niners had to throw like Juwan Jennings at the same time. And here's the thing. Even though the Chiefs were able to shut down their other 2 targets, Brock Purdy just aired out. Juwan Jennings was balling out. Even so, the Niners, even though the Chiefs were able to stop their 2 biggest threats at receiver, the Niners just turned to Juwan Jennings like, all right, you're the guy now.
3.
There was a
Kittle
couple plays. Kittle was no show. But there was a couple plays where the Chiefs got pressure that Ayuk was wide open. So, there was some plays that Ayuk probably would have gotten had Purdy had the time.
There's a couple plays where Brock Purdy was driving me literally nuts. I was like, I know he's playing well, but I could not stand what I was seeing from him. And some of like I liked how he was extending the plays and reminding everyone that, hey, I'm actually a mobile quarterback. And I mean, I know they brought this up, but the Chiefs' ability to knock a ball down at the line of scrimmage is unbelievable. They did that like several times, man. That was crazy.
Let's go back to this. So what Cam Newton said a couple weeks ago is definitely correct, right?
What was
about all those guys being game managers?
All those guys, or what did he? You got to remind me exactly what he said, man.
He said Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and somebody else were game managers. They weren't game changers. They're game managers. They know how to manage a game. Like the coach, like a coach is going up to them and basically saying, like, I don't need you to go score 40 points today. I just need you to manage this game for us to get the win. And I feel like that's what Brock Purdy was trying to do during that game, was manage the game. He wasn't actually trying to go score points. It was more just managing the game and keeping Mahomes and the Chiefs off of the field.
Yeah, I think Kim Newton's right. If you ignore the vast area between game changer and game manager, because there's a huge spectrum of quarterbacks and how they operate, and you just pretend that those 2 ends of it are the only thing, then yes, I think Cam Newton's right. But otherwise, I mean, because define, like, I understand game manager, like, okay, just someone who goes in there, operates a system, doesn't change the game, doesn't make any like super elite throws, just operates within his operates the playbook well, and understands the game, and is able to operate an offense. That's not Brock Purdy to me. It is to an extent, but he'll also extend plays, man. Like, he is kind of not a mobile quarterback. He's not a dual threat, but he is a mobile quarterback.
We like established.
I'll give it to him. He extends plays, but even let's go back to that NFC Championship. The big play to Ayuk, that got tipped by 2 Lions defenders before Ayuk caught it. Like, it wasn't a good throw. Ayuk just happened to come down with the pass.
Yeah.
So, then there's plays like that where it's like, Cam Newton's actually right about this guy. But then, like you said, there is plays where he actually extends the play and he does things that are spectacular. But then he does things like that, and it's like, that's
what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was watching. I was getting so frustrated because it's like he's kind of a double-edged sword. On one hand, I'm seeing him extend plays and sort of reading the field. Other times, he gets blitzed and just gets the ball out so quick, and it goes nowhere. And sometimes he'll extend the play and just miss a dude. And it's like you said, Ayuk had his dude burnt like several times. There was a couple ones where I was just like, I could tell, like, I forget, it was late in the game. I forget when it was. Chiefs were bringing pressure. Everyone knew they were bringing pressure. And I think it wasn't the last drive. I think it was before that. And there was, like, Ayuk was on a quick out against zone coverage. There was nobody in the flat. And I'm like, that should be your first read because pressure's coming. Instead, he looks downfield, keeps his eyes down there, which you normally tell your quarterback to do. But the guy doesn't get open after a second. And then the cornerback is, like, in his eyes, throws it, it gets tipped. Or batted down by like Chris Jones or maybe it was Chanel or something like that. I don't know. But obviously the flat was wide open. I don't know how that's not your first read.
That
It's
takes
just
me
stuff like
to
that,
something
man. Like,
that something I heard Tom Brady say the other day, and I'm gonna love Tom Brady in the press box next year when he's calling games. He said uh, a lot of quarterbacks nowadays, and in a situation like that, like a coach is telling you a play that's a man beater, and you go out there, you call that
pause.
play, thinking because it's and he was saying it in situation terms, like let's say like a 3rd and 4 or something like that, right?
Wait, are we just gonna
And
glance past that? Like,
No, I
he's
heard man beater too. That's
he's a
crazy.
what? No, I thought
no, like
he's
man
a
to man,
man.
man to
He's a
man, man
man
to
eater.
man.
What? No, I heard man eater. Like, hold up, wait,
Listen,
what?
listen. Relax. Man to man. Man to man. The coverage, man to man. Man, like beating man.
Man
Okay.
coverage beater, yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So you're calling
Still
the
don't really
play.
sound right though.
Let me rephrase it then. So
Sorry,
He
like
sorry, go ahead.
loves
okay,
beating
third
men.
and four. Third and 4, but I'm saying his exact words. If you want, I'll send you guys the clip. That was his exact words.
I don't
like,
need to see a
man
clip of
beater.
him beating men, man. Like, I don't need to see that. I don't need to see
But
that.
look. He was saying like 3rd and 4, coaches calling in a play that a team is usually going to be in a man-to-man situation, so they're calling a play that's going to beat that man-to-man coverage. Brady was essentially saying, like, as a quarterback, you got to check at the line. Like, you can't even say hut. Like, don't say hut. Like, why are you even snapping the ball? Because he was saying he sees a lot of quarterbacks go out there and they try to beat that man coverage with what the coach called, knowing that, and then the ball is snapped and the defense ends up in zone. And like you said, Isaac, the guy has to get the ball out quick and the ball is tipped, or the guy starts running and somebody trips him from behind and then he ends up not even getting yards, all because he wasn't being a quarterback and changing the play at the line of scrimmage. So when Tom Brady said that, I was like, I'm going to love this guy in the press box this year, because he is going to annihilate quarterbacks. And a lot of quarterbacks are going to hate this guy because of what he is saying in that press box this year.
Two things. First, Tom Brady is exactly the kind of guy to unironically say things that make you go, pause. I know what he means, but pause. Tom is exactly that kind of guy. He does it all the time. I swear he does it all the time. So I'm not gonna even blame you, 40, for man beater. I think that's Tom Brady. But
I told you, I'll send you
pretty
guys a
special.
clip. That's exactly what he said.
I believe you. I believe you 100% because he's done that his whole career. So just done it the entire time he's been a professional. And 2, I can't agree more. I don't know I don't know what's going on with pre-snap reads, but I don't think I wouldn't know. I wasn't on the field, but I don't know if Brock Purdy made a single pre-snap read the entire game. It was when I was watching him, I was like, what is he? Why is he not seeing this thing that everyone else can see except him?
So I don't remember that play that you're talking about, but the way you're explaining it is, if it sounds like they were in like a cover 3 with a blitz, basically. Because if you're saying nobody was in the flat,
it was a nickel blitz. Yeah, it was a nickel blitz, and I didn't see anyone in the flat. It probably was a cover 3.
So that means the corner must have dropped back in the cover 3, and then they had the other two. They had the safety, and then the other corner dropped back in cover 3 as well. So
the 49ers
you
lined up
throw that.
trips on the right side. They had trips on the right side, and it was clearly zone coverage because there's only 2 corners there. And then
You throw that out route, or you check Ayuk to a slant because the linebackers in that nickel corner are blitzing and the slant is wide open. Like,
you didn't have to do it. He ran towards the flat. Like, his route was already set to beat this exact coverage, and Brock Purdy did not operate what was in front of him. He looked downfield towards Jennings, maybe. I don't know.
And that goes back to clear, like, game manager.
I mean, a game manager you'd think would be able to operate the system, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, true. I don't know what's going on with Purdy. But that was a frustrating.
I mean, he's the 7th round, last pick of the draft. That's what's going on with him. He wasn't really, like, if you go back to his
one of all time.
If you go back to his college days, like, he wasn't that good. Like, he did enough.
I saw some Brock Purdy highlights. Bro was kind of trash in college.
No. Yeah, he was absolutely garbage in college. Like, there was a season he went 1-11.
Right,
like, bro was garbage.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Windsor
not a QB stat.
It is Iowa State though. I wanted to bring up the overtime thing because the Niners. So the last couple of days, the biggest story in the media has been how the Niners did not know the overtime rules, and apparently that's why they opted to take the ball first. The Chiefs, meanwhile, it turns out that Andy Reid had these guys going over overtime drills nonstop because Andy Reid was like, in
I
case
heard
this
what
happens.
Yeah, I heard what Justin Reid said. He said we've been going over that since training camp.
Yeah,
The new rules and everything.
Well, that's the thing, though. Yeah. The rule changed, but I'll be honest, I didn't know the Super Bowl rule either. I thought it was still like the regular season. They get the ball. If they kick a field goal, then they get a chance. But if they score a touchdown, game's over. I thought it was like that. I didn't know we start a whole new game and
I'm
things
a
of that
I
nature.
didn't know
big
that
fan
either.
of it. I'm a big fan of the new
I am
of
too.
the new version. And I will say this: I thought choosing to receive the ball first was actually the smart decision in that case. Going first or second, you're going to
I
get your
thought so too,
opportunity no
just
It
matter
because
almost
what.
worked. It
the
almost
defense
worked.
was just on the field.
Exactly. That was my exact line of thinking. I was like, the defense needs to get off the field. They need to
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
They can't stop
It
anyone
almost
right
worked too because they almost stopped the Chiefs on fourth down.
Well,
Mahomes got that big block from
now.
Kelsey.
I need to talk about that first down. I need to talk
Yeah,
about
go
that
ahead,
fourth
go
down
ahead.
because it's been bothering me forever. Nick Bosa the entire game stays disciplined. And keep in mind, is Mahomes injured? He's has an ankle or something, or is coming off of something
No,
like that.
he's
He's
fine.
not.
He had a high ankle sprain last Super Bowl and played through it. This game, he's healthy.
Either way, he's not. He's not Lamar Jackson or anything like that. But either way, you need to always watch for that kind of stuff because he's done stuff like that where he's proved that he can run.
He's
Right?
low-key an
Mahomes
underrated
can run.
scrambler. He had some insane
He's a
runs that
weird
game.
scrambler, but yeah, he's
He
an
did.
underrated scrambler.
He's
Fourth down read option. This drives me nuts. The entire game, and Romo points this out almost every time this happened, that how Bosa is staying wide of the tackle and how he's keeping him within the box and how he's not letting him go all the way around. Whenever he goes out, he's just has to get rid of the ball because Bosa's on him every single time. This one specific time, it's 4th and 1. It's a read option, Bosa for some reason goes for the running back who he cannot make the play on anyways. He is going towards the other side of the field. He has to run he thinks he's Lawrence Taylor or something. He has to run behind the line of scrimmage and chase down the running back before he gets a singular yard. No, your guy's over there. We'll stop it. You have one job. It is stop the quarterback. If he just stands still, that's a 1-yard loss and the game is over. Instead, he goes, he bites on it, and Mahomes converts it. And I was just like, oh my God, why did you choose that one time to
what I
mess
think
up
it
and
is?
go for the freaking runner when you can't make the play on him anyways? Drove me nuts.
Speaking completely objectively here, as a football fan and not as a Chiefs fan, I really think that the Niners defense just got exhausted and we're starting to lose it. Because there was a play later that same overtime where Mahomes broke off a massive run. And a lot of the NFL is rigged crowd were saying, oh, Fred Warner had a chance to dive at him. He didn't even take it. I watched it. It's like, yeah, Fred Warner had a chance to get a wide open dive, but he didn't. And Mahomes got a big pickup. Yeah, that looked a little sus. But then you realize he is exhausted. It's over. It is late overtime. Fred Warner probably wasn't even thinking lunch. He was probably just trying to chase him down. You got to understand. I think that's why Bosa did that. These guys were exhausted. The Chiefs, the Niners early on in that game, the Niners thought they had him because they were the Chiefs could do nothing against that Niners defense. But once the Chiefs started to made their adjustments at halftime and started to chip away slowly, you could see as it went on, the Niners started giving up bigger and bigger plays because they were just exhausted. And
but I will say too, the Niners definitely were exhausted, and that played into the Chiefs going to win that game. But the Niners don't watch enough film. The Chiefs ran the exact same play that they won the Super Bowl on last year to win the Super Bowl this year. Literally, they sent Mecole Hardman in motion, and he ran the same dumbass route that Sky Moore ran last year.
It's literally the fucking out route.
I don't understand. And the thing is, I was watching the Super Bowl, and when they lined up, I said, "This is the same play. This is the same fucking play." And then as soon as he went in motion, and I said, "Oh my God, Hardman's getting the ball." Literally, Hardman got the ball. And the crazy thing is, my friend had put in a bet Mecole Hardman would score a touchdown. This was in the going into the fourth quarter. For whatever reason, we felt like Mecole Hardman was going to score. But I didn't take the risk just because I saw how the game was going. And I thought Ayuk was going to score the game-winning touchdown. And actually, I didn't send you guys the thing that Brian Baldinger had breaking down and stuff like that. But Ayuk definitely should have had the game-winning touchdown. I'll send you guys the film that he broke down. Ayuk
Please
was
do. I
wide
love
open in the
Baldy's
back.
breakdowns, man. I love Baldy's breakdowns.
When Chris Jones got that pressure on him that made pressure on Purdy that made the 49ers kick that field goal, Ayuk is wide open in the end
Chris
zone.
Jones,
Wide open.
Chris Jones was just like,
What a trooper, man.
if Chris Jones doesn't get through the line and pressures him, like, Niners win.
Yeah, Ayuk is wide open. When I send you guys this clip, you like no, you're gonna be like, oh my god, like literally. He beat the corner, like the corner fell. Like Ayuk did the craziest route. Like it was insane. I was like, wow,
Man.
like I was this close away from doing what I needed to do. But no, like
Jesus.
yeah, me and my friend, we knew Mecole Hardman was gonna score for whatever reason. He even put the bet in. It was a plus 1,500 bet. He put $50 down and won like 540 or something like that, or 550. Yeah, but it was crazy. But yeah, as soon as he went in motion, I was like, damn, Mecole Hardman is literally getting the ball. But that goes back to watching film. Like the 49ers didn't watch enough film. They literally ran the same play to win the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. And if they go back again next year, I'm more than positive they'll run the same play again.
I want to
go ahead. No,
go. You sure?
Yeah, you go, because I'm going to go on a tangent. You go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to address. Well, first of all, I wanted to give my impressions of the game because 40 just went, and I wanted to heavily disagree with him about everything he said. But before that, I want to address. You know how like online, everyone will say anything, and any group of fans will argue for everyone has an argument online. Every single thing, even the most illogical stuff will do it. So one of the things I've been seeing going along a lot lately is how the Chiefs never. It actually goes back to what 40 said. The Chiefs never get called for offensive holding and everything, and they hold every single play, and it never gets called. I don't care. Every offensive lineman has admitted on several times that they hold every chance they get. Yeah, it doesn't get called on the Chiefs. You shouldn't be counting on that to win anyways. Every offensive lineman holds. That's the least of all, like of all. I call ref ball when I see it. I don't want to hear anything about offensive holding not getting called enough on any one team. I don't care if it doesn't get called on the Chiefs. It doesn't get called 97% of the time anyways.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. It's like the least. It's the most.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not blaming that on why the 49ers lost. The 49ers beat themselves. They were tired of shit, like Isaac said. Like,
yeah, you said it earlier.
They were literally exhausted.
Yeah, I just want to address what I'd seen online because I've been seeing, including a bunch of NFL players, kind of like talking about it and everything like that. And I was like, okay.
Well, the Niners players themselves were talking about it. Like, I think that Calvin, you said, the Niners haven't been watching film. Like, yeah, because they've been complaining all week leading up to the Super Bowl. They complained all week, and it has led to repercussions. Have you seen some of the stuff that some of their rivals have been posting? Aaron Donald, who is silent on social media, posted a pic of him pointing to his Super Bowl ring.
Pointing at his ring.
Eagles and Cowboys.
Fletcher Cox was right at Deebo Samuel's neck. He was like, I still got something that you don't have.
Dude, y'all don't understand.
People
talk about how the Chiefs are unlikable, and I will agree. There are aspects of the Chiefs that do make them very unlikable, and I say this as someone who likes the Chiefs, but San Francisco is even more unlikable. The Niner people hate the Niners. You got Philly, you got Eagles players talk about how y'all always talk shit about our fans, but like but San Fran fans are the worst we ever see. Cowboys fans are like, damn. We won. You guys remember how we've won a ring more recently than the Niners? Marshawn Lynch was in a casino in Vegas telling every Niners fan he could see to go fuck themselves. All right.
That's funny as hell.
I saw
Seahawks that NFC West shit though is always gonna.
I saw Seahawks fans I saw Seahawk Twitter put out warnings saying if any person who's a Seahawks fan says they're rooting against the Chiefs, fuck them. It's like,
look, I saw this thing earlier, and it was one of those accounts, one of those fan accounts from another team, and they had put up a 49ers game from when they sucked. There was nobody in the stadium, and they were like, you guys weren't even in the stadium when you guys sucked. How could you call yourself real fans?
That was, I remember that. I remember like week 1 of 2017, they're playing the Panthers, and like no one showed up. To be fair, that was right after 2-14 and the whole Kaepernick controversy. So everybody hated the Niners. They had even more people hating them. People that don't even watch football anymore. Like we're hating on the Niners. So it's like the Niners have been digging themselves a grave after this. And I'll admit, the Chiefs, there were some things happened in that game that Travis Kelce had a couple moments in that game, like when he kind of like
Oh
shoved
my
and yelled at. That was
God.
bad. That
No,
was bad.
I'm
That
not
was
even gonna
bad.
lie. That I was
Why did
already
he do that?
because he wasn't getting the freaking ball.
He was mad. He was mad. Now, to be fair, when he did get the ball, he ended up being the lead receiver in the game. So maybe they should have gotten the ball. But still, dude, don't push and yell at your
No.
coach, bro. That's not like
Oh my
that's a
no,
horrible
there
look.
is zero
What are you doing?
excuse. No, like Travis Kelce has already, for me especially, become the most unlikable person in the NFL this year. Not
Yeah.
even because of the Taylor Swift thing. Like that's like in addition to it, but it's how he's been acting throughout the year. And I love this guy. Like I rooted for him for so many years. It kind of culminated with the pregame against the Ravens. I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And then his attitude in general like that. But Big Red, you're going to push Andy Reid because you're upset? Are you kidding me?
It's like,
Andy
dude,
Reid, you're going to get frustrated and push Andy Reid and scream in his face
he
in the
is.
You know,
Super
it's
Bowl.
funny.
What a
I
fucking
actually
drama
like.
queen!
I don't know if you guys saw AJ Brown's comment after that, but AJ Brown was like, "If I would have done that, I'd be kicked out the league."
Yeah,
Probably
probably.
true.
Like he is
Probably
so
get the Josh
lucky it was
Gordon treatment.
Andy Reid because if that's like if that was Bill Belichick, he's sitting on the bench the entire game. If that's Bill Belichick, he's so lucky it's Andy Reid.
I
And
think
listen,
I'm
even
not
as a
gonna say it.
even as a Chiefs fan, I'm like, dude, like you got to stop. Like people already dislike us, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the Chiefs being the new villains of the league because at least they don't cheat to win their Super Bowls, Patriots. But at the
We
same
don't know
time,
that yet. We don't know that
yeah,
yet.
we
The
don't. Well,
Patriots
yeah,
allegation, Patriots stuff came out years later. We don't know that yet.
that's true. Oh
The
shit, it's gonna
the
come out years later. We
innocent
cheated.
until
Fuck.
proven guilty, though. You can't say that there's stuff there
For sure.
just because we haven't seen it.
Now,
But that
Pat's a
being said,
fucking magician. Pat's a magician. I
Yeah,
give it
Pat's
to him.
ridiculous.
That dude's a fucking magician.
Listen,
that's what they said about Brady early on too. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Hey, early on they were saying Brady was a game manager who got lucky, was carried by his defense, and then 07 happened. So let's
Part
not
of me
let's
still believes that.
Wait,
To be frank,
every Super Bowl Brady played in, do you know that the second or third Super Bowl he was in, his defense gave up 29 points. He had to go put up 32, and he led his
Yeah.
team to that field goal position to go get that field goal to win the game.
I will
true.
I don't
say
know why
that second
people say
Super Bowl,
he got carried by his defenses and shit.
that second
because they
Super
had a
Bowl,
top 10 defense every year that he was in the league.
to be
on the Patriots.
completely fair to that second Super Bowl, they did get a huge boost on that drive because John Casey was an idiot and kicked it out of bounds after the Panthers went up.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the craziest
Yeah.
thing of all time, right?
That Super Bowl, by the way, dude, that Super Bowl, people need to put some respect. That Super Bowl was insane. Like, I didn't watch that. That was the first Super Bowl I ever tried to watch, but my mom turned off after the first quarter because it was 0-0. And my mom was like, we'll just watch a movie instead. No, we don't really care. And this was back when we were still like just moved from Tampa. So we were not fans of Carolina being there. Props, dude, people for Jake Delhomme and Musin Mohammed balled out in that game. Jake Delhomme stood the face of the young Patriots dynasty and said, "All right, hit me. Let's do this." Jake Delhomme was like,
and he lost.
Jake Delhomme was like the one quarterback who stood up to Tom Brady and was like, "All right, I'll go toe to toe with you." He's the one guy from
Eli
those early
Manning.
Patriots.
You will just say
like
shit,
that.
bro.
No, Eli-
Yeah,
Don't
was the
disrespect
guy who
I don't
finally-
even like Eli.
No,
I was like, you will just say shit.
I forgot about Eli. I forgot Eli Manning existed. Shut the fuck up.
Don't disrespect Eli like
Let
that.
me
That's
Let me
that's 2
rephrase
out of
that
3
shit.
of Tom's Super Bowl losses right there.
Let me rephrase that shit. Eli Manning was the first to break. Eli Manning was the guy who stood up and to the dynasty and halted it for a while. Halted it for like 10 years. Jake Delhomme was the first guy to stand up to it and put up a good fight because Kurt Warner played like shit in that first Super Bowl, and Donovan McNabb had a ton of picks in the third championship.
That's true.
Jake Delhomme was the only one from that first string of Super Bowl wins who stood up to Brady and almost got him. Eli, I will say, Eli was the guy who finally did it, but Jake Delhomme was the guy who was like, hey, we can like beat these guys. We didn't, but we almost did. So it is possible.
And then
He was Oppenheimer. He proved that it would. No, he was.
if
No,
you
he
look
was.
at the,
He was Max Born. He proved that the theory was possible. And Eli was Oppenheimer, who took that theory and turned it into a nuclear bomb that destroyed a perfect season. Write that down.
Did he have a top 10 defense in 2018? I don't think he did, bro. I don't think he had a top 10 defense in 2018.
God, the 2018
He
Patriots
might not have.
were shit. They
Yeah,
were.
bro.
They were
They let up
frauds.
40
They were
Bro,
frauds.
they let up
but then they
43
got
points in the
beat.
Super Bowl, bro.
The
They let up
defense.
43 points in that Super Bowl. Brady had 500 yards passing. And that's what I'm saying. Like
That's 2017.
Yeah.
That's the Eagles.
Well, the game was in
whatever year that was. Like whatever
Yeah, and
year
I
that
think they
was,
did
it doesn't
actually
matter.
hold
The
up.
man still had 500 yards passing in that game. Like, if his defense wasn't shit, he probably would have won that one too. And that's the thing. Like, Noam, you weren't here earlier when I was saying that what's on my mind. I know we've run a long time through this episode, but I hope you guys are enjoying it, viewers, but because we're just ranting at this point. But
Hey,
no, you weren't here earlier when I said
more.
what's on my mind.
Before you got more, no,
you weren't here earlier when I was saying what's on my mind, and this goes back to the what's on my mind thing. The guy has had amazing stats in every Super Bowl, even the Super Bowls that he's lost. He's had amazing stats. I was saying earlier how everybody on the internet is saying now that since Patrick Mahomes won this last Super Bowl, he's the greatest quarterback of all time now and shit like that. Like acting like Tom Brady's career never existed or some shit. Like this guy had 500 yards passing and still lost the Super Bowl. And that's not because he was ass. It's because his defense had let up 43 points. Like, had the man had a defense that year, he probably has 8 Super Bowls right now. And we're saying Mahomes is the greatest of all time after 3?
Yeah, no, he's like my response to that was like Mahomes is trending that way, but like guys, come on, like he's not even surpassed Montana or Bradshaw yet. Like,
so
in terms of titles.
Here's what we got to think about. And this is I'm just playing devil's advocate for you. I tend to agree with you. When we talk about the greatest of all time, usually we're talking about legacy. Tom Brady has every passing stat category is his. He has 1.5 million Super Bowl wins. He's been to the Super Bowl like 10 different times. I mean, and that one's not even an exaggeration. That one's actually a fact. And like, it's him. He's the GOAT. That's the whole thing. Now, if we're talking about the best quarterback to ever play, like the best, most talented quarterback, Mahomes is a better quarterback than Brady ever was.
Bro,
that's
how though?
Because he is a better football player. That's how.
Here we go.
What makes him a better football player, though? Look, before you answer that, and I like what Isaac said earlier, Mahomes was a project quarterback. I'll give it to him, but he was still drafted in the first round. Tom Brady was only believed in by Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Nobody believed in Tom Brady. The man was picked 199, bro.
Yeah.
You're telling me that Mahomes was a way better quarterback? You're telling me he was a way better quarterback than Tom Brady?
I don't see what the draft order has anything to do with it.
Oh, shit, that's a good
the
point.
Draft order is saying basically like nobody believed in Tom and he proved everybody wrong. Being drafted in the first round, somebody has a little bit of expectations in you. They have some hope and some dreams in you. Your first round draft pick.
Don't get me wrong. If we're talking about expectations, who has surpassed them? Brady surpasses expectations way more than anyone in NFL
how is Patrick Mahomes a way better quarterback than Tom Brady ever was?
Because he is physically a better player. He throws the football better. He doesn't put it in harm's way as much. He can throw the ball out of the freaking stadium. Like he has a cannon. What do you mean how? I'm explaining how. I'm
Brady
explaining
could
how.
too.
Brady never had
Brady
a cannon.
Throw that bitch I seen Brady throw that joint 70 yards one time.
Are you trying to argue that? I believe you. I'm just saying Mahomes will do it walking backwards. Like Mahomes breaks the laws of physics, seemingly. Like with his nonsense. You're not lying when you said he is an absolute magician. That means like physically and stuff. Now, in terms of legacy and everything, like matter of fact, I'll even give Brady this.
Is Michael Jordan better than LeBron James? Is Michael Jordan better than LeBron James?
Yes. Shit. Wait, I'm not supposed to.
Not to me. Not to me.
Never mind.
Not to me. To me, no.
All right. Well,
I like LeBron.
I can see your argument. I can see your argument then with Mahomes being better than Brady.
That's not my argument. I don't believe it. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I don't know, man.
I'm saying that is the argument. For example, remember when people were saying like Rodgers is the better quarterback than Brady? And people are saying that why were people saying this? Because Aaron Rodgers is more talented than Tom Brady is.
Is he?
Now, did he produce? I think so. Yeah. I think anyone you ask would say that he's physically more talented, more accurate, better footwork, throws the ball faster, farther, deeper, and more accurately than Brady. Yes. That being said, who produces better results? Brady. Who else but Brady has Brady's drive to win? So that's what I'm saying. The people who are saying that argument that Mahomes is better than Brady, they really need to specify what they are talking about. Because Brady, sure, Mahomes is better than Brady at certain things, but you know what he's not better than him at? being the best quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Beating him when it matters. That's what he's not better than Matt either. Beating him when it matters. What's Mahomes' record against Brady in the playoffs? 0-2.
I hate that argument.
How can he be better than a man he's never beaten in the playoffs?
Because he's not playing him. He's playing
Brady was 40 years
Brady's
old.
playing his defense.
Brady was 40 years old. Why aren't you outplaying him?
Because they're not playing the same defense. They're playing. I hate this argument, man. Wins are not a QB stat, and he ain't like it's. I have to hear freaking Skip and Shannon talk about this all the time. They're like, he outdueled Tom Brady. He outdueled.
Wins
We're not
are
outdueling
not a QB stat.
anybody.
Wins are not a QB stat.
Gentlemen, you're ignoring the big picture here.
It's a team sport.
While we're arguing about who's the GOAT, Usher is out there taking our girls. All right, we need to stay focused, my brothers. All right,
wins. Now all of a sudden wins aren't a QB stat.
Wins have never been a QB stat. Oh no.
Oh my God, this is why he's gonna take him over, man.
No, 40 wins are not a QB stat. It's a team stat. It's a team stat. Wins are not. It's not pitching. Wins are not a QB stat. They talk about it like it is, but they're not actually a QB stat. It's a team stat.
I agree with him.
I know it's not a QB stat. I know. But I've seen everybody in the world say several times that is a QB stat.
I know. I hate it so much. It's so stupid.
Look, I wouldn't say I fought with Sam Howell if winning was a QB stat.
I think
do you still fuck with Sam Howell?
No.
I'm so curious now, though.
I mean, he's cool.
Listen,
he's cool.
I know we about to get somebody else, but he's cool.
Trade.
Right.
You're about to trade the Bears. Well, trade with the Bears or something to get Justin Fields. No, you're about to trade. I don't know. Get the number 1 pick from the Bears or something. I don't know.
Nah, the Bears want too much for that number 1 pick.
Yeah.
To clarify though, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. I think it's ridiculous to call him the GOAT as if Brady hasn't just dominated the league for 2.5 decades. I think it's absolutely ridiculous to say that.
He also dominated him for 2 times.
All right. I'm gonna jump in here because we only got about 10 minutes left. I want to jump in here real quick, and before we do anything else, Noam, out of curiosity, Noam, halftime show, yay or nay?
Nay.
Or mid?
Mid. It wasn't trash.
Yeah,
I was expecting better. Mid. I thought I don't know what was up with Usher's mics or something like that, but it's like I just didn't think it was like planned very well. Like Usher has some of like the most well-known songs of all time, and the way they like transitioned into them was not good at all. I was like, why didn't you just like get the crowd going, make the lights go out and everything, and they start up, oh my God, just like that, and that's how you start it, and then go from there into his other hits. Instead, they like kind of like threw it in the middle for like a like just
too many.
I don't know what the hell they were doing.
Too many of his slow R&B songs from the early part of his career. That was the best part. And to be worse, he emasculated Swizz Beatz. I'm still going on about this. He emasculated Swizz Beatz in front of a national audience. Man, he stole Alicia Keys from Swizz Beatz. I have to do it again because no one wasn't here when I did it for the first time. But you know that Boondocks episode, man? It's the Boondocks. It's in real life. It's like I could see if it was a real G like T.I. Like if T.I. steals your hoe, like man, that's T.I. But Usher. I'm sorry. I that's the funniest thing. I'm just as a Boondocks fan, I just cannot get that image out of my head. Anyway, yeah, it's like, come get your girl, man. Like, goddamn, stop. Usher's creeping, bro. He's going. Everyone's mom who like they had to call afterwards. Like, mom, you know Usher, he's taken, right? It's like, yeah, but like,
he didn't even do that good of a job.
I don't know, but we took his shirt off and he was all sweaty and stuff. Like, even I was like, damn. I can kind of see it just a little bit. No, I know that's a pause, though, but it was kind of like, you know what? I think I'm starting to get it. Not for me, but I think I'm starting to get it. No, I guess that one knocked Noam out. Any last thoughts on the Super Bowl, guys? Any last thoughts? How would you rank it? Where would you rank this Super Bowl all time?
Towards the bottom for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Objectively, as a football fan.
As a football fan, I am telling. Okay, if you ignore everything going into everything, and you just look, they on the field right now. They are just two teams playing ball. The football that was committed on that field is fine. Okay, It was okay. But you can't just pretend it's not the Super Bowl and that the entire season didn't happen. The game, in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie, like the Super Bowl, the party I was at, we were all watching. No one there is a super in-depth fan of football. They all just like they're going because it's the Super Bowl and they're excited for the spectacle.
Wow, I wonder who was
Everyone
at that.
left disappointed. Everyone left disappointed. That's what I'm saying. The
Wow.
game went exactly as there was nothing unexpected happening. It was the exact same result that everyone literally all this stuff happens and it's just like literally like the most boring thing ever for the worst Chiefs team in 5 years to win the Super Bowl against the Niners again. I didn't have any fun in the game. It was literally so unexciting. I was just waiting for it to be over for most of it. And I was like, oh my god. Then when they got to overtime, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. And to be frank, even if the 49ers had won, I'd have enjoyed it more, of course. But so for me, it's pretty low. I disagree with everything Corey
Wow.
said earlier about it being a fun and engaging game or whatever. I was like, nah,
Wow.
not for me, man.
Here comes our party, bro. Everyone left my party. Like everyone left my party. We were all like stoked. Even the guy I was rooting, even the one guy rooting for the 49ers was like, even the guy rooting for the 49ers was like, that was a good fucking game. I was like, I don't know. I was hyperventilating.
It was just it was like the expected result happened. Basically, it was like
was that expected? Also, didn't you guys try to like call me like after the Niners went up 10-0, and I had to tell you to stop calling me?
No, not me.
I called you. I
didn't.
No,
you're off the hook. You're off the hook, Freddie.
John called you. I called you. That wasn't. We weren't calling to brag at you. I also tried to call you when the game was over to congratulate you.
Oh, I wouldn't have been available, dude. I was so emotional. You don't understand. No,
John told me how. John said, "I don't want to hear his voice."
I was standing for 2.5 hours because I stood up during the third quarter and did not sit down because the second I stood up is when the Chiefs started doing good. As I'm not sitting down, dude. The second we scored that touchdown, I think I had been like pacing, praying. I was like, please, for the love of God, let us just do this. I just want to see this. I'm sick and tired of my favorite teams making the Super Bowl, man. That was so stressful. I was getting heart palpitations. The second McCole Harbin scored, I think I like screamed and grabbed my friend Yoni.
Say? What did you just say? You're tired of what? What did he just say?
Throwing an interception.
No, I like screamed, grabbed my buddy Yoni to stop from falling over, still fell over, was hyperventilating, like, oh my God. And it wasn't until like everyone had left and I was the last one there that I finally sat down and realized like my legs were in searing pain because I had been standing for 2.5 hours. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I swear this motherfucker just said, I'm tired of seeing my teams make this.
No, obviously, no, I'm not.
I swear those words
I did say that.
I swear he said that.
I did, but let me explain. Because that was so stressful. And
unforgivable.
I'm glad that the Chiefs won. I thought the game was really good. I think that's going to go down as a classic, defensive struggle. It was really good. This is objectively as a football fan. As a football fan, I was like, that was fun.
Subjectively, it's your opinion.
Subjectively, fine, whatever. Subjectively, as a football fan, I thought that was a really good game. I thought it went a lot differently than I thought it was going to go. Honest, well, I thought it would be close. I didn't go to overtime. I didn't think it would be a defensive struggle, but actually, no, wait, part of me did think it would be. Okay, well, I'm a little conflicted on that. Anyway, but man, like, there's a part of me that's like, man, next year, can we get two teams that aren't my teams in the Super Bowl? So just so I can watch one game without being like having a stake in it. That's all. That I'm not saying I want that. I'm just saying, like, God, like it. I don't understand why. I feel no. I don't understand why you're getting like that.
Don't worry,
I feel
we
like
all 0-0 now. Commander Super Bowl. Here we
listen.
come.
I just feel like that's a completely normal reaction to be like listen. I love that we win, but can we like have one game where I don't have a heart attack the entire time, please?
That if that was all you said, that would be fine. Yeah, it'd be understandable.
I phrased it wrong. All right.
Can you at least what you said?
Listen. At least I didn't like rub it in everyone's face like I did in the AFC Championship game.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I also had. Never mind. You're right.
What?
No, you're right. Go ahead. No, you're right. You're right. No, you are objectively right.
Yeah.
You did not rub it in anyone's face. That's your team.
I said
team has won the Super Bowl.
I said I'm not going to do that. I said I'm gonna be. I said I'm gonna keep my lips shut if we win. I said you can fact check me. I said if we win, I'm not gonna. If we win, I'm gonna go radio silent because I'm not gonna rub it in. I'm trying not to do that anymore. Okay, well, with that, I think that's.
I can't say something.
I know you want to say something, but we're not gonna. We're just gonna go ahead and end today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 102. Remember, as always, this podcast is a proud affiliate of the Fire Up Sports Network. Go support all of their podcasts. Go check out our friends at Bell Smashers with Kylie. Don't know why I forgot that for a split second. Follow us on all of our socials at BB Sports Pod. And check out our Twitter bio for merch. Get yourself a BBS hoodie. Go ahead and get them while they're still hot. With that being said, we will see you guys next week for episode 103 as we begin the transition to the baseball season. And no one begins this transition to a Braves fan.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And everyone's so excited for me to be a Braves fan, man. Like everyone's very happy for me. And I haven't received any amount of like for example, 80 different things on Twitter just telling me that I should be a Phillies fan.
Not only are we rivals, but we'll have two brothers that play each other this year because the Mets have Ronald Acuna's little brother.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, by the way,
our Acuna's better, so take that 40.
Effectively, he is.
Ronald
by the way,
he is absolutely amazing. Ronald Acuna is a great player. So
I should probably warn you, Noam, that the Braves play the Phillies on opening day.
You gotta be kidding me.
With that, we're going in the show. We're going to end the show with that. We'll see you guys next week.
If I'm alive.